What's up everybody, Orbital here, and I'm back finally. Sorry I've been gone for so long. This video took forever for me to make because I wanted to make sure I got all my thoughts out and got a feel for the game first. But here it is, finally the Resident Evil 2 review, so yay! Firstly I wanted to preface this video by saying I haven't played any original RE games. That includes the original RE2, so it's not really fair for me to compare this remake to the classic, although I will make general comparisons when I feel it's necessary. However, I have played the Resident Evil Outbreak on the PS2 for like 10 minutes when I was like 8, so it's not gonna really matter that much, except for one part at the end of the video. We'll get to that. I've also played Resident Evil 5 with a buddy, and that game, while it may not be scary, was a lot of fun, especially seeing for the first time Chris punch a fucking boulder. And then lastly, Resident Evil 7, which I played through entirely, all the stuff except most of the paid DLC. I played that game and I love it, and that's the mindset I went into based off of just Resident Evil 7 coming into this game. Also, Resident Evil Operation Raccoon City. Now, before you click off in disgust, I know that game is terrible, but I love it. I would always play through it all the time. That's probably has my most game time, probably besides Resident Evil 7. But it's just, I don't know, I just found it as a good game. This video is kind of going to be a long one, so if you want to grab a snack, if you're interested to listen to me ramble and complain and praise this game a lot. So we're going to dive in, and we're going to look at why Resident Evil 2 is so damn good. Capcom never seems to disappoint when writing the Resident Evil characters, as I've come to like all of the series' numerous main characters just based on the writing. You can feel the intensity and passion in every line that's given. Every character's motivations and personalities all feel genuine and natural, and that goes for any of the media that Resident Evil has out right now. Maybe except for the movies, but that's a different video. I've seen a few people complain that the characters' personalities are so drastically different from their classic counterparts, but honestly, I just don't see it, or if I do, it's hardly a big change at all. It doesn't really take away from the whole overall portion of the game. Yes, I agree that Claire and Leon seem to be too mellow about the events happening, and yes, Leon seems really naive to the bigger picture and cover-up. And Claire has adopted the role of a big action star hero, similar to how Leon was going from RE2 to RE4. But these things don't take away really at all from the passion performances of the characters, actors, and actresses, and the story overall. I like the personality and story they gave to supporting characters such as Marvin, Kendo, Chief Irons, and Annette Birkin, and some other side characters. Even though they could have just left them out because they weren't really present in the original game, it is a nice touch to have, and it fleshes out the world more, and I greatly appreciate that kind of stuff. I've also seen a minor complaint that Ada's backstory, as she's looking for her boyfriend, is a lot better than her FBI plot point in this game, and I just can't disagree more. Like I said, I've never played the original RE2, but I like the FBI secret agent cover-up more because it's a lot more, it's just better overall than her boyfriend plot, if I'm being honest. Now, hold your horses, let me explain. Ada has always been a character of mystery and self-sufficiency, and this is reflected in every game she's in. Tell me, what does she do in most of the games that she's in? Leon stumbles around, usually coincidentally running into Ada, as she gives very vague dialogue and intel, and then zooms away and escapes, or does some secret agent snooping and scouting mission. She's always been a character of being her own, and she has her own goals and motivations, as is reflected here in her character development in this game, and every other game before, and other media such as like animated movies and all that. Also, because her boyfriend's name is John or something, and it's connected to RE1 on a computer when you put in the password or whatever, but it's such a minor detail, and it's really only there for the fan service that it doesn't really affect anything in this game. It could be taken out and it wouldn't matter, so I'm kind of glad it's not, because it gives Ada more interesting and effect, and more like a kind of stake in the plot, besides just, you know, having her look for some guy. Also, I've seen another complaint that Leon shouldn't be trusting Ada for no reason, and I don't understand why. Like, why is it inconceivable for Leon to trust Ada? I understand that he shouldn't distrust anyone he meets in this town, but so far no one has given him a reason to distrust them. In fact, Ada hasn't given Leon a reason to distrust her. She shows up and saves Leon from a zombie dog, and shows a fake, flashy FBI badge. In that situation, I'd probably trust her too. Maybe not with my life in her hands, like to the extent that Leon has, but enough to guide me and help me escape the fucking zombie-infested city, because that's the big point after all. He just needs to get out of the city and escape and try to help people. She even states in the last half of the game, if she didn't trust Leon, that he would be dead. She wouldn't have saved him by shooting a dog or crashing a truck into Mr. X or throwing him a fucking anti-tank rocket at the end of the game if she didn't believe in him, or at least think he was useful for her own goals. It's only until the last boss fight that Annette gives insight and a warning to Leon not to trust her, which somewhat fucks with him because he's been on a goose chase with her throughout the entire city and police station and all that to get a virus sample. You literally take control of Leon in the sewers and go on a quest to open a door and fight a boss just to get to her and save her, because Leon, as naive as he may be to the situation, is still a good person. For lack of a better term, he pulls an Anakin Skywalker like from the Clone Wars. He wants to help and save as many people as he can, even if he can't. Because that's who he is. That's the whole reason he joins the RPD, as he states in the game, is to help people and protect people and save as many people as he can. Sorry for that tangent, but the whole argument that Leon shouldn't just trust Ada is really dumb, because I highly doubt if anybody was in this situation, for some reason, they would just trust an FBI agent, fake or not. I highly doubt anybody would question. They would just be like, yeah, get me out of the city, that's fine. Kendo was given a more sympathetic angle to his story. I personally like this better, because I like him being a sad father and husband who had to put down his family. His daughter was on the bridge of being infected and a human, and he wasn't afraid to hug her and not think about being bitten. I like the story 10 times better than him being a nobody fuck who gets attacked and mauled when zombies bust down his glass window of his shop. It makes the world feel full and not empty and a barren wasteland without any character development. The game is significantly better because not everyone has to die like a chump in this game. Sure, he's only one of the characters that we don't see die, but we obviously know he wouldn't have made it out of Raccoon City before it got blown to hell. I do agree that they made Annette one of the worst characters in the game. She gives us that bitchy vibe and punchable face that her counterpart in the classic game didn't really have. She seems evil in a sort of way because she doesn't care about anyone or anything other than her work for about 99% of the game, or the time we see her, that is. And she's not even the main villain, for fuck's sakes. No complaints here. I agree that she's not as good as she seems to have been in the classic, but it's whatever, because she gets wrecked by Birkin anyway, so, I mean, yeah. Next up, Chief Irons, and oh boy am I happy. I've seen people say that they wish they kept him the same as the original, and I have mixed thoughts on it. On one hand, I think he's perfect and adds an element of psychological horror to this game that works really well, but I also think it goes off the deep end sometimes. Now, I could care less, as he's just your typical corrupt police official who's benefiting from the larger picture and cover-up that's going on with Umbrella, and he's meant to keep chaos and disarray so that he's not found out, hence why he locks up Ben in the cell as he found out about the collaboration between him and Umbrella and the whole orphanage plot. It just so happens to also be a fucking psychopath, and it isn't well enough that it takes you out of the experience. I truly felt uneasy when I first encountered him, as his character gives up that unpredictable vibe. Now, could his death have been better, like how it was in the original? Sure, I guess. But it's fine, it doesn't really matter too much, it's not a big deal. Alright, so pretty much, you know what I'm trying to say. Talented voice actors were paid to do a job, and they did it very well. So I don't need to complain anymore about it. The characters were shitty, but either way, all the actors and actresses did a great job. So let's move on now. Resident Evil has always been a game that has pretty good set pieces and ambience in terms of sounds and visuals, but I've noticed it take more of a leap forward and front row seat in these two recent games. I guess it's no surprise that a high-end game studio has the budget to make such things, but it's a lot better that the guys behind Resident Evil know their shit and know exactly how to get you with scares and make you feel exactly the way they want you to and when they want you to. Now, I don't do horror well, and when I say that, I mean it. You'll get me scared from any little thing, but I have high amounts of respect for the devs for actually creating a threatening environment other than resulting to shitty tactics you see in a modern horror film. Honestly, give me more than like a handful of recent horror movies that can evoke fear other than brainless jump scares. I regard the It remake as one of the scariest movies ever made because while still having jump scares in it, the people behind it are capable and intelligent enough to come up with creative and unique ways to invoke fear and dread and doom into you from subtle little things sprinkled about. How does this affect Resident Evil, you may ask? Well, the zombies and the creatures in the setting. It's no surprise that this game is a lot scarier than the original. The original had fixed camera angles and well-lit rooms. You could see everything happening just from entering the room. In the remake, I can't even see shit that's 2 feet in front of me. Zombies have a somewhat unpredictable and terrifying stance in the game, as if they'll walk slowly towards you, but then they'll like Godspeed bum rush you, and it actually is pretty terrifying. It made the zombies really scary again in an oversaturated market, and they don't run, which makes it exciting when you escape from them, instead of just getting bum fucked by them running. Mr. X isn't as scary to me as he is to others due to the fact that most of my runs have been killed because that annoying fuck is always there punching me and killing me. But he's more of a nuisance to me than a scary entity. I do, however, feel scared and threatened when he's chasing me, because you can hear when he breaks into a fast walk and how loud and fast his footsteps are, and you feel that tension when he's right behind you. It gives me the cringes. The dude's a tree-sized motionless figure who gives the best fear when he's chasing you. The lickers are scary because they seem unpredictable and at any moment could jump down and attack you if you're moving any faster than like a slow walk. Couple this with Mr. X chasing you throughout the RPD and the lickers tracking you, and it makes for an adrenaline pumping situation. The IVs as in this gameplay are scary because they can one-hit kill you if you're not carrying a defense item, and they move insanely fast when they dodge at you, and they look fucking terrifying as all hell. Dogs are only scary when they're about to bite you and you're trying to run past them. Of course, all these elements start to fade once you play through the game a lot and you dump a lot of hours into it, but for your first few playthroughs and about most of your playthroughs, it'll be there and the scares will retain itself. You never know what's around the corner thanks to the third-person camera angles, and that is a great addition to the ambience of the game, because you never know if Mr. X is around the corner unless you hear him or his music, or if a zombie sitting there slowly, and then it all depends if they slowly shamble to you or they just straight jump around the corner and try to fuck you. Every little sound from the new soundtrack adds up to make uneasy feeling, which really gets me hyped for more. On a little tangent here, the weapons in this game are kind of weak as they made the zombies a bit faster and I think have more health, but the weapons, while kind of being somewhat weak, it is really satisfying when you empty a whole clip into a zombie's head and they don't die, but then when you shoot one bullet and you blow its head clean off, it's amazing. The shotgun for Leon is one of the best weapons in this game. Claire's gun, her revolver is alright. She gets a grenade launcher, which is pretty good. At the end of the game, I think Claire gets most of the stuff because she's got the spark shot shotgun, which is an electric shotgun. She gets her revolver, which you can upgrade to speed loader and enhanced frame to make it a magnum. You can get a minigun, and there's the grenade launcher, which takes acid rounds, which stun people, or it can damage sometimes, and flame rounds, which are really good for taking everything out. She can also get a submachine gun by attaining the STARS police badge and using it in the locker. You can equip a silencer and a high capacity mag, and it's all the upgrades are really good, but I feel like Claire gets more guns than Leon, because all he has is his Matilda with the stock that makes you shoot 3 bullets, a muzzle brake and a mag. He does get the Lightning Hawk, however, which is pretty good, but Claire's standard gun can become a magnum, so it doesn't really matter. Flamethrower is really nice for taking out the IVs, but then again, Claire's flame grenade launcher does the work a lot faster. But the shotgun though is so good, because whenever you always can one-hit crit zombies in the head, as long as you are close to them until you get the long barrel, and it's just so good. Also at the end he gets the rocket, but he doesn't get to use it or keep it for a while. In the B scenarios, Leon gets the M1911 he holds sideways, and it's pretty cool as the 45 ACP rounds do more damage than the 9mm ones. So the zombies might be a little bit tougher, but you'll be doing more damage. Claire gets a cattle army revolver, which she fan fires it, which is really fucking cool. The grenades and flashbangs are good introductions because the grenades are nice to stun lock big enemies or blow groups of enemies up, and the flashbangs are amazing because they can stun lickers so that you can get away if they're aggroed on you, and it makes it so you can get out of a room, as the zombies will get stunned for like a few amount of seconds. Like you can run past the whole horde without on them. The knife in Resident Evil 7 was infinite as it was your main melee weapon. In this game, they break and lose their ability. But if you're on PC, I know you can do a 120 frame thing where you can do more hits with the knife and it'll do more damage. So all the speedruns are just overtaken by using fucking combat knives, which is pretty crazy, but it's nice. Every Resident Evil game has its own ups and downs, but they never have truly been really terrible games. The live-action movies hold that title as the worst RE media, but I digress. Whether you like the fixed angles and tank controls and slow methodical horror survival gameplay, or the more action-packed QTE in-your-face punching boulders gameplay, there's something for everyone here. I'm going to be honest, I wasn't going to invest into this game if it had fixed angles. I would love to play all the old RE games, but the fixed angles and tank controls deter me from ever touching them, as I'm a big fan of RE7's first-person perspective, and I think the third-person angle was the best choice for this game, giving it that niche for everyone to enjoy here. Capcom lately has been on a pretty good track record with the franchise, reinventing it and bringing it back to form, and making it more than just a dumb, over-glorified action scenario. They keep releasing amazing animated movies. They're starting to understand more and more every installment what works for the series and actually give a shit about the fan base and what makes their games beloved in the first place. You don't see a lot of that nowadays. Not at all, actually. I believe that if Capcom and the team stay on this path, they will continue to make quality content that everyone can enjoy. I can safely say that I think the future of this franchise is secure. Unless they somehow fuck up RE8 or the supposed Resident Evil 3 remake, when we will be back to square one. Like said in the beginning of this video, I haven't experienced the original games and had the memories that so many have had here on YouTube and can make counter arguments against me and my experiences. I made comparisons to the original, but the one thing I can't do is have those amazing memories that everyone had growing up. I was born in 1998, so I wouldn't have been physically able to play this game, but this game makes me feel like it is in the 90s. In the setting of it feeling somewhat in our time period, but then also in 98. From the settings to the characters to what they wear, to the guns, to the locations, all that. And it has that cool sci-fi tech feel from the Umbrella Lab. This game, however, I believe recreates that feeling almost perfectly, if not better. While not being a one-to-one remake of the beloved classic, it still was able to compare very highly to the original, almost being a masterpiece, while also creating new twists and takes on a game, and I believe this should be the standard for how remakes and reboots should be made all the time from now on. I guess I'm saying it pays when you actually try to make a quality product, instead of just milking your fan base for every cent and nickel and diming them to hell. I'm looking at you, MWR and Battlefront 2. EA. My first experience was with RE Outbreak on the PS2, and my 8-year-old mind was having a fucking field day. I was scared and sad and angry and hype as all hell, all at the same time. As much as this game pissed me off at times, a lot of times actually, it made me love it so much more than I can truly say, and that game has earned its $60 price tag for once in like the last 8 years. I can understand if you don't trust me about this game because I love Operation Raccoon City, and that shit isn't even able to compete with even Chris Boulder punching insanity in RE5 and the over-top action Michael Bay stunts in RE6. But I don't see why you wouldn't trust me. Millions of people weren't hype as fuck for like 3 to 4 years for no reason. This game is special to me and to many people, and for many different reasons. RE7 paved the way and the foundation that RE can be a scary and adrenaline-pumping game again, and with the series return to form that got most people, including me, to get involved in the vast world and lore. Hell, I played that game to completion on everything. I'm talking about Madhouse speedruns, all that shit. I even came back to play the Chris DLC. That's how I got invested into the lore and the worlds of the Resident Evil universe in the first place, and I think you should too. I would suggest playing RE7 and RE2 Remake because they're so fucking good. I can't stress enough, but definitely play this first as it deserves your money a bit more than RE7 right now. Anyway guys, this has been my review / retrospective on RE2 Remake and additionally a bit of the series. Did you like this video and found it somewhat entertaining? Hit the like button and subscribe with notifications on to be notified if I ever get around to doing another project like this massive one again. What are your thoughts on this remake, or even the Resident Evil series in general? For you guys that have actually played the original, what's your thoughts and favorite moments from the original and remake? Leave your comments down below. I look at them mostly all the time, so don't be shy. Do you want me to cover more games in this series like this? Or have any feedback for me you want to give? Let me know. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. I'm sorry again if I took so long for this to get made. I wanted to make sure I did this as best as I could because I wanted to get everyone to enjoy Resident Evil as much as I have over the last few years. It's truly been an interesting and amazing world. Thank you guys for watching, and as always, have a great day.